Hey guys, Tanner here, and this is part 2 of a case study where we're looking at a 4-year-old dropshipping and private label store that over the 4 years has done almost $400,000 and is currently at about $7,800 a month in revenue. And we're looking at why is this store struggling when it has so much going for it? What's keeping it from getting to that next level? So we're gonna pick up where we left off and we're gonna jump in and we're gonna start part 2 of this case study. Also, if you missed part 1, you can click the link below in the description to hop over to part 1. So here we are back on Analog Watch Company. Remember, we talked about this in part 1. This company has so much going for it with some awesome products, great brand potential, all kinds of things, but it's still struggling. So we talked about the homepage, the general business practices, the identity crisis the site is going through, all of those things in part 1. And right now, we're gonna dive in deeper into some of the money pages, the collection pages, the product pages, and things like that, okay? So let's go ahead and start with a collection page. So I'm gonna scroll back up here to the top of the site, which takes forever, which is one of the problems. We're gonna go up here and we're gonna go to, let's just start with wood watches, okay? Which brings us to the Carpenter Collection, okay? All right, so now we are on a category page, all right? So one thing here is it has all the different collections over here on the left. Again, if you look at all this stuff, this is way too much stuff. Sunglasses, rings, these are not things that this site should be focusing on right now, even though we've talked about this in the other one. So I'm not gonna get into that again. If you have questions about what they're different selling, go watch part 1. But right now, looking at this collection, they have a very narrow collection, which is good. They don't need a lot of SKUs here. So they've got the product, they've got the thing that's on sale. You can see different images. This is nice, it's all consistent. Let's go ahead and look at another collection real quick before I go too far in anywhere. Okay, so one thing that's missing on these different collection pages, which isn't as crucial when you have fewer products, is the fact that there are no filters. There's no way for me to sort the different watches. And if I went to like all products, this is a big thing. So like if this was all watches, I have to scroll through all this stuff, okay? The purpose of a category page is to allow me as the shopper to narrow down what I'm looking for, what I'm interested in, my likes, my dislikes, so that I can find something that I do like to look at quicker, okay? There are no filters in this site, okay? Yes, the collections are smaller, but in the case of this, there still should be filtered to be able to filter by best selling, filter by reviews, which there's also no reviews on this site, which is a big problem. And there should also be things like filter by color, by material, by band style, things like that, okay? Simple filters, they should be left-hand aligned. All those collections should go away. They shouldn't be on the category page and should be replaced by a standard filter selector like you would see on Amazon or Best Buy or any Wayfair, any other real site like that. Noticing that little pop-up that just came up that showed so-and-so bought this product XYZ hours ago. It's called a proof app, all right? Originally, that proof app was intended to inspire social proof and help people believe that people were shopping on the store. And if it was used the way that it was meant to be, it would have worked. The problem is you're able to spoof the app. The creator of the app allows you to set in fake notifications, old notifications, so it's not legitimate. And a lot of the spammy, crappy, like fraudulent type sites out there use that app to inspire trust and inspire confidence. And that app has been tested over and over again by our clients and by our own stores, by our team, and it's shown that every time we add that site, it actually has the adverse effect. It actually hurts conversions, hurts follow through, because it has such a bad connotation among shoppers. And internet shoppers get more savvy every single day. So you think, oh, my shoppers have never seen it because it's never been on my site. Promise you they've seen it on another site. So that should be turned off for sure. Okay, so we talked about the collection page. Let's go ahead and jump into a watch. Let's go look at this one. Okay, so first and foremost, this is not prototypical layout over here. Okay, prototypical means what the consumer is expecting, what they're used to seeing in other areas. I understand there's some artistry involved or artistic nature and people want to look unique or have their brand look special or whatever, but having the price below the product name makes no sense, okay? It's not what customers want. Go with the product name. Immediately under that should be reviews in a star format, and then the price, okay? It's prototypical, it's what they're used to, it's what works, okay? No reason to reinvent the wheel here. We have hour markings. Okay, so here we go. We have a watch that has a drop-down menu to select with hour markings or no other option. So there's no reason for this to be here. okay? So this needs to be suppressed, okay? Why have a variant drop down if you don't offer variants? It's one more thing to confuse the customer, make them think it's not working, or just cause a disconnect, okay? So it shouldn't be there, all right? This is good. Their quantity automatically increases, and it shows it right down here in the Add to Cart button. Something that's not good about the site is that the Add to Cart button blends in with the site, okay? Until you hover over it, then it turns pink. Okay, so at least it changes when you hover over it. However, there's a thing called hierarchy of focus when it comes to a store, and it really directly impacts conversions and the drop-off rate of shoppers going from one page to the next page in your sales funnel, okay? When it comes to hierarchy of focus, there can be there's one main focus on every page. That should be the action that you want them to take, okay? In this case, the action you want them to take is add to cart, but it doesn't stand out. It should be prominent. It could be that pink color already, or a yellow, or a green, or any color. They could pick almost any color at this point and have it stand out. Even black would stand out more. And again, that's what you want. They're doing some good stuff here, but they're also doing some bad stuff that's hurting them, okay? And all of these little things that I'm talking about are impacting why their conversion rate is so low, why they're not getting more sales for the traffic they're getting, why they're not able to scale traffic. One of the things about this store owner is they're not really good at advertising, or they feel they're not. It's not that they're not good at it, or they've been timid about it. It's that the store needs some help that could help it get better, okay? Now let's go ahead and look at images real quick. So we're gonna scroll through. So you got a lifestyle shot here, another lifestyle shot, another lifestyle shot, another lifestyle shot, okay? And they're not even really zoomed in on it, so you really can't see the watch all that well. I don't even know what to say about that image, except it's awful, awful. So the thing about images, okay, is that they should add value to the shopping experience, okay, not take away from it. I can almost guarantee that if we tested these images would devalue the product. They would take away from the experience. So any image that shows the watch. Another thing that they're not showing is the back of the watch, which everybody who likes watches wants to know what the back of the case looks like. They're not showing the buckle. Those are important things. Oh, there's a little buckle shot, so that's not bad. And then maybe one or two lifestyle shots where the watch is in clear focus should be utilized, okay? These other ones could be taken away, okay? Okay, now we're getting into the description of the watch, all right? The big thing here is they've done a good job of spacing out their text, making it easier to read. The problem is that it's too small. It should be a minimum 16-point font. Makes a huge difference in time on page and people's ability to stick and consume the content. All right, they're answering the questions. This is good. It's a lot of information that could be better utilized maybe in a tab format where they can select between the tabs, but this is not terrible, okay? It just needs to be font size increased. And then we get down here, and you just planted a tree, okay? So this is cool. One watch equals one tree. This is actually good. What I would, based on our testing, we've done actually some stuff where you plant a tree when people buy and things like that as well as a lot of other different charities. This is very, very wordy, and it's all in capitals. People don't like to read. It's center aligned, which makes it tough to read. It's capitals, which makes it tough to read, and it's a lot of text in a short, small amount of area. I would like to see this tested as more image-based with less text or in a better format, but this is a very strong thing that they should be utilizing. And it's basically a value proposition because they're getting back to the environment and people get to feel good about buying a watch for themselves, okay? So they get to help the environment and get something that they want. This is cool, but it's not emphasized the best way it can be. Also, we come down here to related watches. So one thing that's mentioned here, there's no mention of things that are in the customer's head at this point. They've seen watches like this before, or wood watches, and most of them come from China, so they want to know what are the shipping times, okay? They want to know what's the return policy, things like that. And that's why a tab format for your content, you can have your description tab, return policy, shipping information, all of that right there on the page so they don't have to go any further. Also missing from this site, pretty much anywhere on this site, are any kind of value proposition that makes their watch unique. This is one thing. This is a value proposition. They donate a tree for every watch you buy. Okay, there's no value propositions up here above the fold. We typically put them up below the add to cart button. Okay, there's no mention of a guarantee. Okay, fast shipping. There's no mention of sustainably sourced or BPA free or anything that's relevant to the watch. BPA free is probably not relevant to this watch, but things like that. Things that people care about as related to the watch. And there's different UVPs. There may be a company-wide unique value proposition, and there may be a product-specific value proposition. The value propositions you want underneath the Add to Cart button should be designed to sell the click. Get them to want to click the Add to Cart button, feel comfortable that they're doing a good thing here. Okay, they have none of that, all right? So a lot of things missing here. All right, so let's go ahead and click the Add to Cart button. Let's check out their cart. Okay, so this cart is a very, very basic cart. Okay, so a number of things. Let's start at the top. Okay, this cart is a stock cart. It's not optimized, but from the top down. Navigation. In the shopping cart, all navigation should be suppressed. It should be removed, so it's just the logo, and in the cart, they should not have any options to click out and become distracted, okay? Except for the cart icon, that can stay up there, okay? Coming down, there is no mention of quantity. It just says 1 watt, or no watt, doesn't even say, it just says watch, small image, remove, and then the price. There should be a quantity number, and there should be the ability for me to change the quantity in the cart. I don't see that anywhere. Okay, let's see if I hover, let me just, so I don't, nope, nowhere for me to change the quantity within the cart. That's an important thing. Also, when you have the ability to change quantity, it should automatically change the price. Okay, this update cart button lets me know that the cart is not coded to automatically update the cart when a change is made, which is bad because the customer is not necessarily smart enough to know to click the update cart button. Also, for example, if a customer added another watch, the same one, and it was now 2 watches, but the price stays $150, in their head, the last price they saw before they got to checkout is $150. Even though they have 2 watches and it should be $300, when they see that $300 price on the next screen, it causes a disconnect, makes them have to think it through, and it can cause them to leave. So you need to fix that. The checkout button should say proceed to checkout. They're not actually checking out here. They're not there yet, okay? I know this sounds small, but it's a big deal. And from all the testing that we've done, we know these things matter, okay? And everything we're doing, they're not, each one of them is not a home run by itself, but they all add up to hitting a home run, okay? So the button should say proceed to checkout and have an arrow pointing the direction that there should be going. Update cart button shouldn't even be there. That should be replaced by a continue shopping link, and it should be a blue link that's a clickable link that says continue shopping. Also, typically we find that it's best to have a proceed to checkout button under the price and above the cart. So there should be 2 of them on the page, okay? The next thing is, how did you hear about us? Have a fun story to share? Why are you asking them for that now? They haven't checked out yet, okay? This is not the time to do that. I understand what they're trying to do, but all you're doing here is giving them a chance to become distracted and stop the shopping process. Again, all we want them to do at this point is click the proceed to checkout button and go to the next step. There's plenty of time after they buy for you to collect this information. Here's the thing, if they fill this out and abandon, you don't get it anyway. So you can always get it from your customers later. Trying to get it here is pointless and actually is hurting conversions and the sale, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into the actual checkout, which this is not. Okay, so they're using an average order value bump app, okay, to when the checkout button is clicked, this pops up before I get to the checkout. All right. Now, the intention of these apps is to get people to spend more money, okay? Increase the average order value. All right. Now, in 99.999% of the cases, and almost every test we've run, except for one that I know of, this never works because it's at the wrong time. And also, products like this are not something that you're going to make a decision on without seeing it, okay? Like this classic marble watch. Might be a pretty watch. The picture of it doesn't do it justice. So I would need to click on this watch, or if I click on it, it's going to add it to cart. So that doesn't help me. I actually need to be able to go see this watch. So I'd need to go out of the cart, find the watch on the page, look at it, then decide if I want it, okay? And if this is a special price, like it's $40 instead of $165, then I got to figure out how to go back to it and get that same offer again. All of those things are perfect ways for me to become distracted and bounce from the site, okay? And then the same thing with the other one. Okay, great that they're doing a discount, but it's not a good time to do it. All right, now here's the thing. This store has an average order value of $31. All right, so that right there tells me that this doesn't work. because if they added any other product to cart and a proportion of these people were adding this, their average order value would be way higher, but it's not. So this doesn't work. They're using this to hopefully get an AOV, but it's actually not helping. And if they were looking at all their Google Analytics data correctly, I would guarantee you it would show that this is losing, okay? Yes, average order value bumps can be effective. This is not a good way to do it and is certainly not helping this store, okay? So we'll go ahead and add one just for the sake of adding. So I'm gonna click this. So I added it, and now what? Now I have to click continue, okay? So it's making me do multiple things. So anyway, now I'm going to the cart, or hopefully, okay. All right, looking at this real quick. Okay, this is a pretty much stock Shopify cart. This is not optimized, so they're missing a lot of things, okay? First of all, there is no mention of phone number or customer contact or email or anything which should be up in that logo field. In the Shopify checkout, your logo is actually a separate logo from the rest of your store, so you have the ability to move your logo over and add some customer service information. It doesn't mean they're going to call you or email you, but they like knowing it's there so that if there is a problem during this sensitive time, which is when they're giving you their information, they can get help, okay? The PayPal button, cool. We like to accept PayPal, that's great. Except this button should be suppressed so it doesn't show up here and does not appear until the customer payment page, which is the third page of the checkout. The problem with that showing up here is that if they click that PayPal button, they now leave your store, they don't fill out any of this information below, and they go to the PayPal checkout. If they check out, perfect, great, you get the money, everything is good, you get the customer. If they don't, you lost all chance to follow up via email. No cart abandonment emails can go out, no SMS follow-up emails, no messenger, nothing. If you don't collect this customer information on this page, you have no ability to follow up outside of retargeting, okay, if you're using it. And this kind of follow-up, this email cart abandonment and the SMS cart abandonment can add up to a 30% each recovery rate in what you're doing. So it's critical that you capture this information before you let them choose their payment option. Okay, so again, this page is not optimized. The discount code field is open. You should use some code that suppresses that field behind a link that says, click to add discount code. The problem is when that code field is open, people think when they see a field that they're supposed to fill it out. And if they get to the discount code field and they don't have a code, a lot of times what happens is people go to Google and they try to Google a discount code. Okay, and we've all done that before, right? And half the time we can't find a code, we get frustrated, and many times that interrupts the purchase and we get frustrated, so we don't buy because we don't get a discount, okay? However, if that field is suppressed and it only is opened when it's clicked on, it reduces that significantly, okay? Also, the second address field, the apartment suite accept field, that's this address line 2, that should be suppressed behind a link so that it only opens up if the person needs to fill that out. Why? Because every additional field that a person has to fill out reduces the conversion rate, reduces the completion rate, and hurts your conversions. Also, the continue to shipping button, which is the next checkout button, right? It's black. Okay, in the cart, the button was gray. On the product page, it was white that then turned pink. There's no consistency. The hierarchy of focus, remember, should be consistent. So the same button is the same color, all the buttons are the same color all the way through the entire buyer's journey. That way it's consistent, the eye is trained, and they know what to do. Okay, again, little things makes a big difference. I guarantee you, if what we talked about right now was fixed on this store, it'd make a world of difference. Okay, this store would not be struggling at $8,000 per month. This store has the potential to be another Movement Watches. It could be a 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, $1 million brand. It could be. It's got the potential. It's got the name. It's got a lot of stuff that could make it a really, really good brand. There's no reason that this store should be 4 years old and have done less than $400,000 in total sales. They got good products. They got a good brand potential. They got good shipping. They have all these things going on for them that are great. Yet they're struggling. And you know what? They're not alone. Many, many, many Shopify stores are struggling the same way. And chances are what I'm pointing out about Analog Store here also affects your store. So if you look at this, make sure you're looking at it going, oh man, I'm doing that. I better fix that. Okay, because you have every opportunity to turn your store around to make sure that you can afford to buy traffic, that you can scale traffic, that you can do all of these things that need to happen. But if your store isn't dialed in, you're never going to get there. Okay, so if you liked this and you want to see me dissect another store, click right here to watch this video. Also, if you'd like to know what I've learned after helping over 10,000 students build their own stores, watch this video right here. And don't forget to click the subscribe button below and the bell icon to make sure you get notified when we release a new video.